Nunchucks. Everyone, I'm pretty sure everyone who has any interest in the martial arts knows what nunchucks are. They've been called many things over the years. I think a lot of people will relate the nunchuck to Bruce Lee, flip-flopping around, and there are many martial artists who use nunchucks. And man, when I was a little guy, and I remember practicing ninjutsu with my friends Joe Lake and Ron Bouchard, and we used to dress up in ninja suits, and we'd make our own throwing stars, and we'd get our ninja weapons and things and practice them together. And the nunchucks were a big part of that. The nunchucks, they're called many different things. I've heard them called chain sticks, chuka sticks, karate sticks, long sticks, wood sticks, metal sticks. They've been called many different things. The correct term for them is actually Nunchaku, Nunchaku. If you speak Japanese, I'm sure there's a better way of saying it, like Nunchaku, something like that. I'm not a Japanese-speaking person, but that's the correct pronunciation. The pronunciation is Nunchaku, but we simplify it in English as nunchucks. It's a traditional Okinawan martial arts weapon. From what I recall, it originated in Okinawa, Japan, and consists of two sticks connected together with some kind of a chain, or in the case of what I made here, it's the same ones I used to make when I was younger, but with rope. And they're commonly made out of wood, except the practice ones I have are made of foam, but I've seen there's some that are made of metal. I've seen them made out of fiberglass. What else have I seen them made? Actually, quite a few different materials. I've seen quite a few different types of nunchucks. The person that practices the weapon is actually referred to as think of Nunchakuka. Now, these words aren't foreign to me. I grew up in practicing judo, so Japanese judo. Japanese words were pretty common. We were doing forms with names like Ouchigari and Osodogari. They're a lot of Japanese names, so the word Nunchakuka isn't all that foreign to me. But that's somebody who practices nunchucks. Again, there are many different kinds. I've seen karate experts using them too, all over the world. And some people are so fast at it. But it actually has a lot of form to it. There's actually a number of forms you can do with the nunchaku. I'll just call them nunchucks. That's what we know them by. But there are a number of forms, and they can be beautifully done. You're switching from arm to arm, and there are a number of different ways that you can, swing them from arm to arm, behind your back, around your neck, around your legs. You can even flip them up in the air. There's so many. I probably only know, maybe even a quarter of the movements. I've seen people actually demonstrate them, and being able to put a candle flame out without hitting the candle. Pretty impressive. So depending on how good you are, I just use them as a form of, they're just fun. I just like to use them because they're fun. Sort of a form of exercise. It actually exercises your wrists and your forearms really well, and your arms, arm strength. But if you do it correctly, you can actually emphasize your posture. So one thing to keep in mind that a lot of places, it's illegal to have nunchucks, especially professional ones, unless you're running some kind of a martial arts studio. Again, the ones I have are toys. I have toy versions just to practice them and play around with them. I created the wood ones as a toy too. I remember creating them one year as a Halloween costume, part of a Halloween costume. But it's mostly for fun. But be careful, because they're very dangerous, and you could really hurt, if not kill, somebody with these things. even the wood ones, like even the toy ones I have, if you hit yourself hard enough with the wood ones, and I have done this, it hurts. Oh boy, does it hurt. And you could do a lot of damage with that. So you have to be careful of that and keep in mind that they can be considered illegal. Some of the history in Okinawa, farmers were said to have used them at times for thrashing at rice and different plants. It wasn't, from what I recall, it wasn't known as a weapon in some cases. They were, the time of the samurai and ninja and different types of martial artists would definitely use them, but they were actually used sometimes as implemental tools for farmers and such. Bruce Lee, no doubt, has made the Nunchaku very famous. And we've seen many others. I mean, I remember the film Fist of Fury with Bruce Lee, and there were so many scenes. Just look up Fist of Fury Nunchucks, and you'll see, oh my goodness, what a master. Bruce Lee is just amazing with those things. But there are many others too. Enter the Dragon, that film too definitely had the nunchucks as well. If you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, you remember Michelangelo, one of the turtles, definitely used those, and you'd see kids in their costumes using those as well. But that's pretty much it. Those are the nunchucks, the nunchaku, the Okinawan martial arts weapon. It's just, again, I think it's a fascinating. I don't want to disrespect it by calling it a toy, because it's kind of a toy, but it's also a weapon as well. But if respected and if you're careful, it can be a wonderful thing to have and practice with. If you're interested, I personally suggest the foam ones that I showed you earlier, because you can't really hurt yourself too much with those, and you can still do the techniques and still have some fun with that. But those are the nunchucks, something I love playing with as well. Rope, we painted it black. There's some good basics with these nunchucks. The big great, passing from arm to arm, over and under. And the biggest technique will be like, catching it on your arm, and I'll show you over here, is catching on your arm here and flicking. Just flicking. You'll see people like Bruce Lee, doing all these fancy things, putting out candles. It's actually safer to use these chain sticks or the correct name is actually Nunchaku. That's the correct Okinawan term for these, but we call them nunchucks. But these are practice nunchucks that my son got me. With some chain and some light foam, which is great, because if you whack yourself, you can still practice them. Not be afraid to knock yourself in different spots. Like that. So these are fun to practice with, but nunchucks, nunchaku, chain sticks. Excellent.